Are you a fan of the No Dishes podcast? Be sure to check out our Patreon, where you can find exclusive merch and perks, and join the Clean Plate Club, our Facebook group where you can connect with other fans of the No Dishes podcast, share your favorite moments from the most recent episodes, and submit questions for upcoming guests. Season 4 of the No Dishes podcast is brought to you by VisitBloomington.com. VisitBloomington.com is the best resource for restaurants and culinary information, special events, fun activities, places to stay, and more in our area. We share a similar mission here on the No Dishes podcast of highlighting local businesses and the people who make our community unique. We can't thank them enough for hopping on board. Check them out at visitbloomington.com to easily plan your next meal, visit, or night out on the town.
Hey, say, honey, let's go out to eat. Relieve our culinary duties. With all these restaurants to sweep us off our feet, they're bound to turn us into foodies. No dishes, no dishes, no dishes. We'll have a bottle of wine, relax and have a good time. No dishes, no dishes.
Cool, get it rolling. What's up, Mike? Thanks for being here, man.
No problem.
Michael Klinge, or aka TV Mike, right?
TV Mike is probably the most known. Television Michael's the full.
Oh, I didn't know.
Michael Klinge is the legal name.
Okay, all right. I should have clarified that with you before, but
Yeah, it's okay.
That's good. We're in the information.
I've been
finding
called
out.
all kinds. Yeah, Klinge is usually the most common mispronounces.
So how is it that you actually say it again?
Klinge.
Clingy.
Yeah.
Okay, I can try to describe so and so. They're very clingy.
Yes,
okay.
I got. Yep.
I'm trying to think of that association so I don't screw it up again. Well, I really appreciate you being here. We've had a lot of people on, and Orbit Room consistently comes up as places people like to go and what you guys do there. So it only feels right.
I'm super excited to be here. So
So how long has Orbit Room been around? It's I don't even want to take a stab in the dark. I'm going to embarrass myself.
we opened in October of 2018. So we will be celebrating 5 years.
That's huge.
In October.
That's great. And I mean, I feel like you guys have transitioned quite a bit. Not huge, but
we've had to definitely rethink things several times over. Yeah, we were only a year and a half old when everything shut down. So since then, it's just been all right, well, what works? What doesn't work? What do we want to do? What do people not want us to do?
Well, you got to find that balance.
Yeah.
So what do people want and what do we want to do?
Yeah.
I feel like you guys have found it pretty well.
Yeah, we're feeling really good about turning 5 this year.
Yeah, well, that's such a huge thing where we've talked about it before in this podcast about how places 80% don't make it 2 years or something, some number like that. So it's definitely a testament to what you guys are doing. So it's for those that don't know, Orbit Room it's tucked below. It's over a little bit over from Inkwell. Is it underneath Inkwell?
No, it's underneath BloomingThai. But you have to walk. BloomingThai has their own patio fence area, and you have to actually go to the right of it if you're looking at the building to get down the steps to Orbit.
Yeah, because there's not. Is there a sign other than the chalkboard A-frame?
Well, it was an A-frame. Now it's just one piece.
It's a sore subject.
There is one sign at the top of the steps on kind of the building's facade that is always up and has our hours on it, but that's it.
Yeah, that's good. I guess what I'm kind of getting at is you kind of need to know what's there.
Yeah, people when they walk in, they'll be just walk in and be like, what is this? I'm hey, here's some menus. There's pinball machines in there. Or if there's a band going on, we're hey, there's a cover, but come on in. We can get your, charge it to your card or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people are just surprised when they get down there, and then other people are like that it's hidden, but you definitely kind of need to know where you're going.
Yeah, but it's the epitome of a hidden gem. It's such a cool spot. It's it just has this vibe that nowhere else. I mean, maybe Root Cellar, you know what I mean? But that's even. I'm not trying to equate the two, but you know, like that underground kind of vibe to it. And then you walk in to the left, you got like all the pinball machines, and then it's crazy because it's not a big spot, but what you guys do with it is nuts. All the different things, and we can dive into all these individually too, but like the live music, all the pinball machines, you have a kitchen doing amazing gourmet hot dogs plus some stuff too, which a lot of people don't even know that there's a lot of stuff other than hot dogs.
Yeah, that was kind of it's almost been 2 years where we kind of added a lot of other things besides the hot dogs. We just realized that there's other snacks that people want, including all of us that work there.
It wasn't necessarily for everyone else. It was so you guys could you got burnt out on hot dogs. Yeah. But you guys also do stuff like you had the IU game on. Yeah, that is something that we keep very down low. Yeah. Like we don't have any TVs except me, but we've got a projector screen because we show movies, and you know, some nights we'll just throw on like old school videos and stuff like that. But when it seems like it's right to project it, we'll go for it. Yeah, I mean, it's not a sports bar, and you obviously you want people to know that. Yeah, but like, it was the NCAA tournament. Yeah, the tournament we did the Purdue game too. Yeah, which was the first test of it this summer. I mean, for this season, and it went well. And I was like, a lot of it does end up being like, I want to watch the game. I know a handful of other people that also want to watch the game. Let's watch it together at the Orbit Room. Yeah, let's have them come to me, and you don't have to go somewhere else where you're not sure if you're going to find a table, what the service is going to be like. It's under your control. And even with the Sunday game, it was like, oh, it's going to be on at 8:40. I was like, nope. I was like, because we're closed on Sunday, so it's like, if it's a 3:00 game, I might do it. Right. But that's 8:40, too late. On a Sunday, we're not open? Okay, yeah, I will watch it from my couch. Yeah. Well, at least no one expects you to be open. Like, did you see how Nick's was closed? I don't know. It was a huge thing in my friends and I group message. That no, I didn't know they weren't open for this last Sunday night game, the men's or the women's. So Sunday or Monday, the 2 second-round games against Miami. And everybody's like, you're Nick's. I mean, but I personally won't go to Nick's to watch a game because I'm very superstitious. Oh, and really? Like back in the day, we've lost big games when I've gone to watch them there. So I'm like, and now I'm like, well, that's very selfless of you to do that for the rest of the fan base. Yeah, it's like but you know, maybe if Nick's was open, we would have beat Miami both. I didn't want to be the one that said it. Yeah, you know, it is the most exciting place to watch a game anytime anybody. We get a lot of people in from out of town and stuff, and I'm always like, well, you got to go there, especially during an IU game. You're not gonna. There's nothing more Bloomington than an IU game on at Nick's. Absolutely, and that's why it was like real surprising to me. But I'm not trying to rag on Nick's. I love Nick's. I know a lot of people that work there. I love the food, but it caught me in quite a few people off guard. We're like, really, like the tournament game, but. Sometimes there's things we don't know. You know that. There's always things in the immediately back. There's like 10 things I was like, well, what if that happened? I wonder if that happened. I wonder if that happened. Yeah. Yeah. No, we understand. It was spring break too. That's probably another big part of it. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, it was cool when I went in there. You know, we had a mutual friend, him and his wife were in there, and I met up with them. And he's like, we're at the Orbit Room. They have the game. I was like, they have the game on? And, you know, I was so surprised. And he's like, yeah, they got a projector screen up. And I talked to you about this one. I was like, so I was expecting to see some super pale, you know, game on the wall. But dude, it was crisp. It was super crisp. And you said you used to have a white sheet. Yeah. But you thought you invested in a screen. Yeah, we host Cicada Cinemas once a month. And so we went in with them and got like it was like a professional sheet. But we finally were like, we got to where we were like, all right, we're set, because we had used the stage to project. We did rear projection from the stage for a while. And then we were like, we need to get the screen higher. We're in a basement. How can we do this? And then we came up with the idea of projecting onto the limestone wall. And then I was like, well, let's make this real easy on us. And let's just get a nice screen that pulls down. And then immediately, I didn't think about it when we did it, but Josh from Skid was like, oh, it'll be much brighter. And I was like, oh, I didn't think about that, because you can see through the sheet a little bit, so you lose a little bit of the light. It adds to the vibe, though. Yeah. But it was, I've never seen a projector so close to the screen. A short throw. It's a short throw. Yeah, there was a name for it. I'd never heard. Yeah, they're usually a little more, more expensive than the other ones, but that way you can like have it really close. Like when we had it mounted on the stage, it was like the only way we could do it was a short throw.
Which also works out really cool because of like if a band's playing, you could straight up have like the projection behind them and it not blind anyone in the band
nice.
at all. Like the drummer wouldn't be getting blinded from it and still have something crazy projected behind them.
That's sweet. Yeah. Tell me, I'm glad you brought up about Cicada Cinemas. We've never talked about them on here. A little bit about kind of what they are, why you partner with them.
They're basically a pop-up cinema in Bloomington that I don't know the exact start date, but it's pre-pandemic. And they just go around to different venues showing different movies. The series that we have at Orbit right now is called the Cicada Underground. So it's all films with the American Genre Film Association. So a lot of cult movies and just kind of weird, wacky ones that are out there. And then we charge only $5 for them because of that. And it's a deal that they split with AFGA. AFGA. But they show all kinds of different movies. I think, Backdoor, The Bishop, they do some outdoor ones. They've done some Far Gallery ones. But yeah, you can go to their website, Cicada Cinemas, and they have all the different ones on there for sale. Actually, in May, we're doing our first new feature with them, and it's a movie about it's a dramatic movie, but it's about the guy that saved pinball because pinball was illegal. For a really long time. It was considered gambling, and so that'll be our first like feature with them, and it's going to be graduation week on the 5th, the 3rd and the 4th of May.
Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, I just had a buddy that was doing an event on like May 6th. I was like, dude, that's graduation weekend. I don't know if you want to do it on the 6th. That's so you said you do it once a month with Cicada Cinema? Yeah,
we do one Thursday a month. It's usually the third Thursday, but that does fluctuate sometimes. And we do 2 showings, a 7:00 and a 9:30.
Oh, that's cool.
And so this month it was Gamera versus Gyron. So an old 69 kaiju film, monsters and stuff. It was very there's a lot of kids in this one, so we actually allowed the movie to be all ages for the first showing. So we had tons of kids in there for the film, and which is the first one we had because we show a lot of cult movies and they're not kid friendly.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, it was really exciting because all the kids like started cheering when Gamera shows up, and like
that's super cool. I'm sure that just had to be so weird for you having 4.5 years or what of only adults in there, and then you're like first all ages show. You're like, this is weird. But like cool
at the very beginning, it'll be a year in June that we allowed the all ages. And everyone was nervous. The staff was nervous. Like, what are we going to do? I was like, we're going to serve people and give them it's going to be awesome times.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to like not give a kid alcohol. It's really basic. You should, even a kid that's 20 is the same,
Yeah.
And it within like a couple weeks, we had everything down, and everyone's like, all right, I get it. And like, it can get crazy. We have Mr. Matt's Jam Sesh. He is a teacher in town, and he has built this band through a class that he has, and it sells out like crazy ahead of time, and we'll be like probably about 50% kids versus parents in there, and they just lose it and love it. Like also it's the kids performing, which is really awesome.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So it ends up fun. Glitter Brains, whenever they play, there's like a kiddie mosh pit that pops up, and so there's those shows. But then there's shows that are just kind of on the fence of it. Like, I want to take my kid to see this jazz band, so they hear jazz, and it's it's not as many kids, but some. And the pinball's another big thing because there isn't any pinball in public anymore that is under 21 except us. Yeah. There used to be some at the Union, but they got rid of them during the pandemic.
That was going to be my follow-up, is those kids have to love the fact that there's pinball machines.
Yeah. And the parents love that the kids love it.
Keeps them distracted.
Well, I think they like to play it too, so it's like a thing they can bond together with.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's super cool. And that's like, there's something that's nostalgic about pinball.
Yeah.
So for them to share that with their kids has to be a really cool experience. And like you said, you're the only one that's providing that.
Yeah.
In town. Yeah, that was...
I have to strike what I said. There is a pinball machine at the bowling alley. I have not played it yet, but there is one there too for the pinball community. We have the same machine at Orbit as well, but...
So how many machines do you guys have?
We've got 6 that can fit in the Orbit.
Is there one that's like your crown jewel?
Right now our lineup's really stellar, but for some reason the Black Knight Sword of Rage, it might be my favorite pinball machine ever. It's really basic but really hard. But like once you know the rule set, you know it. you might not be able to perform well at it, but you know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Godzilla is easily one of the best pinball machines that's been put out in 10 years. So I love that one too.
So what's the Black Knight?
Black Knight, it's the third of the series. They had a 70s one, and then an 80s one, and this is the third. And so you're basically fighting the Black Knight, but you have to fight his monster minions first. So there's 5 different monsters that you have to unlock and then defeat. And then you have to fight him in I think it's the Black Castle at the end.
I didn't realize that.
I never have gotten that far, but I've heard that's what happens. I think I've beaten 3 monsters, and that's as far as I've gotten.
That sounds pretty impressive. I mean, that's 3 more monsters than I've beat in my life. So
it's real basic. It's like you got to engage the shield up, and then once you lock the ball in the shield, then that starts a fight. And so
have I been playing pinball my whole life, not realizing they have storylines?
There are so much storylines and rules.
I had no clue.
If every pinball machine, usually on the front of the apron of it, it's got like the list of all the rules, and like kind of sometimes it breaks down how to get like double playfield scores and stuff like that. I will usually read it and look at it, but my rule is always like, if the lights are flashing, go towards them. Like if that orbit's lit up, hit it. If it changes colors after you hit it, you probably should go to the next one.
All right. I feel like I've been missing out, but that's a great rule of thumb, though.
Yeah.
It keeps it simple, and I'm always the least reading the best for me. So you have Godzilla, Black Knight. What are the other ones you have?
Deadpool,
nice.
which we just acquired. Stranger Things, which we just got back. It had been in the bar for a while, and then we took it somewhere else. Hot Wheels. Avengers, Infinity Quest.
I think that's 6.
I think 6, yeah.
Dude, like you said, that's a stellar lineup.
It's really fun lineup right now, and right now they're all working, so that's always the best feeling. There's a lot of maintenance.
Do you know how to work on them yourself?
I know how to do a decent amount of it, and if it gets out of what I know how to fix, then we've got some people to call. Unfortunately, none of them are in Bloomington, really, but like there's like in South Side of Indy and stuff. I have a separate LLC with my brother-in-law, and so we own the pinball machines, and so we have extra ones if we need to rotate something in usually, or we take it to his headquarters in Greenwood, and they can sit there and get fixed easy because there's pinball mechanics up there.
As part of that LLC, do you have pinball machines that you own anywhere else?
We have, but right now we don't. We had some at Fairfax for a while, and we just pulled them.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Just not getting much play?
Yeah, it was just like it didn't seem like they were getting a lot of play, and they weren't really too concerned about them, and we were just kind of like, all right, well, let's get rid of these. You know, we took Stranger Things back, and there was a Harley Davidson, which is kind of a funny one. It's an old
I feel like that fits
90s
the vibe down there.
It does, yeah, but it would break quite often. So like, you know, the maintenance with it and everything. I was like, well, we can trade that for something else. The pinball market went nuts. I mean, like a lot of things, like was already kind of inflated before the pandemic, but went haywire.
Yeah, I remember seeing something about that.
It's super popular right now, and so those games are like once we know we don't want one, we're like, what can we trade it for?
Right? Yeah.
What can we try to get? Because you're definitely going to do better if you trade somebody than try to just pay cash, because it's this weird collector energy of like, I don't want to sell it, but I'll trade it.
Yeah, you're still, because that way you're still adding something new to your collection. Yeah. Something to get like hyped and pumped about.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm kicking myself for not playing. I've only played pinball in there once, and I've been in there a ton of times, and I walk right past it, and I'm just, I guess I'm so food focused.
Yeah.
That I don't think like of just going in there and just playing some pinball.
It's a great way to kick back and have a good time. Actually, on Tuesdays is our league night, so we do a tournament every Tuesday. It starts, like signups are at 6, and then the tournament starts at 6:30.
I didn't know that was a pinball league was a thing.
Yeah, it's basically just a weekly tournament, but we call it league because we meet every week. Eventually, we might do like a multi-week thing where like, hey, how the best score over 8 weeks or something like that.
Right, it rolls over.
But it's a really fun time to learn too, because we have players drive from Indianapolis, Columbus, all around just to come and compete, because they can. Just as of like a week ago, we got resanctioned with IFPA for all of them, which is the International Flipper Pinball Association, so they can get points for how they do in the tournament.
Oh, towards like other things.
Towards like it's kind of like amateur golf or like pro golf.
Yeah.
Like you have to get a certain ranking to get invited to certain tournaments,
Right,
or you
yeah.
have to play in to get into them. And
So is that like very approachable for, like you said, novices to where like
it sounds like it isn't, but it really is. Like sometimes like the person that's never hardly played wins that night, or
Really?
like gets second, just because it's all that you have one game against somebody to do well, and you can do easily. Someone could do bad, or maybe it's a machine someone doesn't know as well, or so.
a lot of variables.
There is that being said, a lot of the times the same people are in the top three.
Okay.
But you learn so much from playing with other players that
Right.
know what they're doing,
Yeah.
just because they've put in the hours and they know the rule set, the deep rule set. There's all these hidden wizard modes and like things. So it's really fun, and like it's like $5 buy-in, and then it's free pinball. Like even after you're eliminated from the tournament, we put credits on all the machines, so you can keep playing and practicing afterwards. So
For like
the
how-
machines are usually $1 a game, so it's like you're definitely going to get 5 games worth out of it.
So it only costs you $5. Sign ups every Tuesday. It only is sign up start at 6.
Yeah, about 6. We usually try to kick it off by 6:30, and you just show up in the pinball room and be like, I want to sign up for the league tonight. Or the
Between like
tournament.
what 6 and 6:15, can you show up like?
You can show up even at 6:30.
Oh, really? So just don't, but not later than 6:30.
Yeah, we try to get it started by then, because it can, if it's, if there's like 12 people or something like that, it could take like 2.5 hours.
I'm pretending like I'm asking for those listening, but it's 100% for me, because I'm like, okay, so tell me if I was to come.
Yeah.
that seems like a steal though. $5?
Yeah, it's approachable. Some other places that do it, like they don't. You still pay to be in the tournament, and then you have to bring your own quarters too. But we want to get people excited about pinball, so we make them on free play for it.
Can they stay and play all night? Or like when
Usually till the tournament's over at least.
Oh, I get what you mean. So
if you get eliminated, it's a 2-strike or a 3-strike tournament. So you'll be in a group, and then usually the bottom, if it's a 4-person group, the bottom 2 get a strike. Sometimes if it's a 3-person group, the bottom 2 get a strike, or sometimes we'll just have the last place get a strike. And then after you play one game, you get into a different group depending on how you did. And then once you have 2 strikes, you're just out. So we just keep playing until everyone's out except one person.
And then there's games that aren't being used.
Yeah.
So once you're out, you can just free play those.
Yeah,
until
you
it's
can just
done.
jump onto another machine.
All right, Garrett, we're gonna have to stop recording on Tuesday nights, man. This is or you're gonna be out of town next week. Yes. I'm gonna see you next Tuesday.
We have been talking about maybe doing a Saturday tournament. It may be as early as April 7th, but by April 8th, we're going to start opening for lunch on Fridays and Saturdays. So opening at noon, and then maybe on Saturdays having once a month a tournament that starts at like 2, just kind of an afternoon fun thing.
Well, that's exactly where I was gonna go. Is like, what are not only the league or the tournaments, but like, what are your normal kind of operating hours when someone can just come in there and play and get some food that we're gonna dive into and drinks and all that fun stuff.
We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 5 to 1 a.m.
All right. Yeah,
Come
so you
April, we'll be noon to 1 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. So no Mondays and no Sundays.
Are you guys still doing delivery like you did during the pandemic?
Oh, no. It's been a while since we stopped that.
I figured it had been. You did it for a while, and you guys did it well.
Yeah, like we never closed. We were shut on St. Patrick's Day of 2020, but the next day we opened doing just takeout and delivery. And I still look back at it and like, now that we're still open, I look back at it and like just giggle at how fun it was to have something to do, but like to be back as a delivery driver, which I hadn't done since Jimmy John's in like 2001 or something like that. So it was really fun to run around dropping hot dogs to people.
I bet. Yeah. Funny how life has a way of getting you back to your roots. I didn't realize you were doing the deliveries yourself. I guess.
Yeah. Me or Katie were the only ones delivering. So it was always one of us dropping them off.
It makes sense. Was it during that time when you came out with the moon pie, or did you already have that? Because I remember
it was during that time. Yeah.
Because I don't know if I ever got the delivery, but I know I ordered pickup a few times, and I remember because it was based.
Those moon pies were so good.
Yeah,
they were.
I think I even posted about it and did a little mini review, and people were like, "Wait, what? Where is this thing at?"
People bring them up still, and I'm always like, "Oh, I loved them," but the labor that went into them. It was pretty intense because they were gluten free, and they 3 different types of flour and all. They were very good though.
Yeah.
Those were basically a creation of Erica Yoakum. So in April of 2020, we decided to like scrap our menu and build it back up. Not scrap hot dogs, but like kind of change how we were doing it rather than just signature. Like you get to choose from these 6 dogs. We just like went completely different, and we're gonna make all these awesome toppings. And we did a big consultation with her, and so a lot of our toppings still like the cauliflower, the beets, and the pickle relish. They're still Erica's like pickling recipe and spices and all that. Since then we've added some of our own and things like that. But like so yeah, we did. She helped us out, and we the moon pie was one of her creations.
I've heard, yeah. So I don't know if I really know Erica. Her name's come up before on here. Really talented chef, and so she just did consulting with you, but it wasn't. Because I thought for some reason she was like kind of running the kitchen there for a little bit, but maybe
no. She just basically were like, we were bare bones. It was just Katie and I.
Yeah.
So like we were like, we need to know how to make stuff that basically let's come up with a menu that I can prep and Katie can prep. I mean, I love cooking already, but I've always been front of the house. Katie loves cooking too, and has always been front of the house. So we basically did like a boot camp of like, all right, yeah, you can do all these easily, and then so since then we've got a full staff again and things like that. But we basically simplified it and like kind of picked what we thought would work, toppings wise too. And yeah, so it was maybe a couple of months of like we would get, we'd have her do a special or something like that, and then show us how to make the ingredients and then come up with it.
How to do it. That's smart. Yeah. Make it something you could manage, and also, a ton of great options for everyone instead of, like you said, just these 6 dogs.
Yeah.
Is Katie running kind of in charge of the kitchen now, or?
No, we had a son in May 18th of 2022. So towards the end of the pregnancy, she kind of stepped back from the kitchen, and has been stepped back and still does like social media, and like her and Oscar were doing door every once in a while. Now he's a little too squirrely to stand still for that long. But so yeah, she's not doing that now, but she was working kitchen shifts up until that. I mean, up until at least 6 months pregnant, I think. We just,
man.
Keep holding it down.
Yeah, I know. We had talked about potentially her and Oscar being here, which was going to be super funny.
Yeah.
I was like, I think that's going to be a record for the youngest podcast guest we've had. But I totally understand if they're running real hot.
We tried, and I was like, oh, it's just not going to work.
Yeah. Well, I was glad when you brought it up, because I was like, I want to give credit to where credit's due. And I know Katie's is a huge part of everything the Order Room does, and getting it to where it is now.
Yeah, and not like on scene as much, but still completely involved in all the decisions, and tons of her ideas we end up going with instead. And so yeah, Oscar is pretty good at door, but he's not ready yet.
Yeah. Well, so what? He's not a year old yet, almost. Yeah. When you told me about him working the door, I was like, dude, that's the funniest thing. Yeah. I was, what did I say? Like, oh, does he have a pacifier that doubles as a stamp?
Yeah. Yeah, the kid's been to a lot of shows already.
There you go. He's gonna be a prodigy. Already has it in him.
Or completely hate music.
Touche. Yeah, I guess it could go one of 2 ways. So other than the dogs, and I say that like it's not just dogs.
It's not just the dog.
Well, you've got all these options that are that go between the bun.
Yeah.
To put it, and then tell us about some of those, and then we'll talk about the non-dog stuff.
So we've got like marsala pickled beets, turmeric pickled cauliflower, ginger pickled cucumbers. So basically pickles.
Say that 5 times fast. Yeah.
Bacon, of course, for the meats.
Whipped feta, right?
Well, we've got the whipped feta.
Ooh, sorry, just that one got excited.
Flat top cheese curds, which has easily become like everybody's favorite. Yeah, I love them. And it's so simple. It's just basically some cheese curds flattened on a flat top, and makes a little blanket for the dog. It's so cozy. Veggie chili is a great topping.
What's the dog that has because when we were in there for that IU game, I was about to order, and it ended up not happening. But that was the one I was going to order.
The cougar?
The veggie chili, the flat top cheese curds.
And horseradish aioli, yeah. It's a cougar. It's not a chili dog, but it's a cougar, so it's close.
Let you draw your own conclusions on that one. Yeah, we've talked about doing because in the Jack and Nine music video, when he says sucking on a chili dog outside Tasty Freeze. It's the chocolate mousse stand.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
So like, and we still make homemade coney dogs.
Yeah.
So like, I still like want to be like, yeah, we got the best dog in town, but like you guys are on a whole nother level. I feel like anything can't be compared to what you guys are doing, because it's like, it's so top notch, like scratch. Obviously, chocolate mousse isn't a scratch kitchen, but it's like we make a homemade coney dog. And that's our claim to fame, is that that was what he was actually sucking on.
Was the coney dog.
Yeah, but I love that you're paying the homage with the cougar name.
No.
I didn't
That's
pick up
one of my favorite things about is naming the hot dogs. I've had a lot of fun in the past about it, and I've always it's fun to name things like that, and the cougar just kind of flew. I feel like it was really close to when that viral video came out too, of the dude just singing sucking, like he sings the first part of the song up till sucking on a chili dog, and then he just sings sucking on a chili dog to the tune of the rest of the
Oh yeah.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen. It still makes me like double over laughing.
That was huge.
Yeah.
I had so many people sending that to me, and then my buddies and I joined a group that's like sucking on chili dogs on Facebook, and it's still an active group.
Yeah.
That shares the most hilarious memes, and a lot of it is cougar.
Yeah.
Or just chili dog. I don't know. There's a million different ways to go with it.
Yeah.
Whatever that dude was that did that was
genius.
Yeah. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
What were some of the other names of the dogs that they're very
Fang Banger, which is one of our most popular dogs. That came up because, at the beginning of the shutdown, everybody was binging all the shows that they had seen before, and so several of our friend group all watched True Blood over again, from the beginning to the start.
I didn't know if it was a Twilight thing or
definitely True Blood. And we're like, well, it's got beats, it's kind of bloody, we got to make it the Fang Banger. Okay.
That's such a catchy name, though, the Fang Banger.
Yeah, an old one from the old menu was Slaw and Order, which I thought was great because it was coleslaw.
I feel like it reminds me of Bub's Burgers. Or not
Bob's Burgers. The daily burger special. Yeah,
it's the best like subtle joke always in the background. I love the wordplay. So, what are some of the? When I mentioned like you can have a hot dog, but you also can have like a sausage or.
Yeah, we've been looking for another meat option for the meat eaters. But right now we're just using Indiana beef dogs, and then you can get bacon. And then we have 4 vegetarian options. Actually, all of them are vegan too. So 4 different vegan dog proteins. Hopefully one day we'll find something that works. We had brats for a while, and we were just kind of like, this isn't, it's not doing it.
Yeah, I remember there were some like bougie version ones too.
Yeah,
like, they were like really high end broad options. So I guess I was thinking those might still be on there. But yeah,
we just kind of whittled it down because we're like, the meat shortages that kept happening, and I got to the point where like, let's just focus on what we got, and then it'll come to us when it's time. Like we've tried some different smoking goose, and I forget the Old Major maybe out of Indy. We haven't we're still thinking about maybe adding one of those, but the price point ends up being kind of like, well, people are going to feel comfortable adding this much more because that's what this dog is.
Yeah, you're going to have an $18 dog at the end of the day. What are the vegetarian vegan options?
We've got Field Roast brand, Frankfurters, Apple Sage brat, and then Chipotle brat, and then we do the Beyond Dogs.
Oh, nice.
So the Beyond Dogs are soy-free and gluten-free. The other ones are pretty much gluten. I mean, that's their main... They're great. I've been a vegetarian forever. I love them all, but like, if you're gluten-free, you got to do the Beyond Dog.
You got one option.
Which they are expensive, but they are fantastic.
I've done the Beyond Burger. I've never done the dog.
The dog's solid.
I like it. I think the Apple Sage is what I was thinking was like a brat.
Yeah.
Because I like, as soon as you said that, I'm like, that's exactly what I was thinking. I didn't realize that was a veggie option. That's cool, man. What are some of the non-hot dog stuff? I know you got didn't you do poutine at one point?
We did at the very beginning. We did some potato chip poutine stuff. But now we've got garlic knots. They're vegan garlic knots. We have cheese curd stuffed garlic knots, which is a newer one. We do have like a kale miso salad. Vegan nachos, which are killer.
With the veggie chili.
With the chili on them, yeah.
What else comes on that?
It's just this vegan nacho cheese, which is really good. Honestly, better than any regular nacho cheese, like liquidy nacho cheese that I've had.
Okay.
The chili and then some jalapenos on it. You can do a bowl of chili of our house chili. Pimento cheese dip. because we have pimento cheese on a dog, so we also have it where you can get it as like a side to share with
that's perfect.
some pickles on top.
I love pimento cheese. That was
They're a special right now, but we are going to be launching a revamped menu. Not a ton of changes, mostly just new additions. Very soon, maybe as soon as next week. So mac and cheese is in the house now. So we have
nice.
A non-vegan mac and cheese, like a straight up cheesy mac with vegan chili on it. And then we have a pimento mac that's not vegan. And then we have an actual vegan mac and cheese with the vegan chili on it too. That'll be an option.
Cool. I was gonna say, I feel like you have to have an option. You have so many vegetarian, vegan stuff.
Well, all those are vegetarian, but like one that's truly vegan.
Yeah, that'd be cruel. You're like, we're bringing on this really good mac and cheese, 2 different versions, but none of them are vegan. So sorry about you. Do you guys still have a decent amount because of the pandemic of people doing carry out from you? Or
it's not, nowhere near what it was, but we do a decent amount of carry out. Not crazy amounts like it was, but like I would say a couple orders a night, and usually there are like several items, not just like one dog to go.
Right.
We've never signed up for any of like the Grubhub or anything like. Well, no. When we were doing our own delivery, we did have B-Town menus for a minute, but we just couldn't. The logistics of it with like the getting the order from somebody else and then it coming in and not realizing that it,
Oh yeah.
we need the thing that rings in and the printer in the kitchen kicks on as soon as the order comes in.
Yeah, if they're out somewhere and they don't hear the they're not gonna know.
Yeah, or just like it was a phone. I think at that point it was like they call your restaurant when you get the order, and it'd be like, if you're busy,
you're not
gonna hear the phone, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, that's
or there'd be an email, and like I would be at home, and like I'm the one with the email. And it just ended up being a headache, and so we were like, all right, let's just drop delivery. And then the other ones with the fees and stuff, we were just like, oh, let's just. But if people want it, they'll order carry out, and we'll
take care.
They'll get it. Yeah.
There's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
And again, it's not like no one else is doing what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So it's like not like they're like, well, I'll just get it from this place.
Yeah.
If they're wanting a gourmet dog or if they're wanting veggie nachos of that quality, they're coming to Orbit Room.
Yeah.
Do you have to call in the carry out, or can you do it online?
No, we have an online ordering system.
Like kind of the Square setup?
Yeah, we've been using Toast since the February 22. And so it's just really streamlined. It's basically our menu is just online.
Yeah, that's great.
Anytime we make, like, if like the bartender changes the count on something,
it updates.
It updates immediately.
That's so nice.
Yeah, it honestly, like, I know they get any POS is going to have problems, but honestly, switching to Toast from Square was like one of the ways that we stayed alive, because it immediately, like, the day that we didn't open on the 17th of 2020, I spent all day getting everything ready on our POS system to be online the next day to order. So the streamline of how easy it is to set up carryout and stuff, because we literally were in the process of changing over as the shutdown happened.
Oh,
like,
man.
we had only been on Toast a week.
Whoa, okay.
Like maybe a week. And then we're like, wait a minute, I can hit a button and have delivery? Yeah. Okay, let's do this.
Done.
Yeah. And it's pretty user-friendly. I love also the fact that it's Android, because iPads are really expensive.
Right.
And so all of them are Android. You can drop them and they're not going
to shatter.
Yeah.
I love how you realize that as soon as you said that.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I just heard it drop.
Yeah. Right as you get done recording, your phone's like, we need a new iPad. Yeah, you're like, what did I do? Yeah, we looked at doing Toast, but like, I think you have to do their credit card processing. Maybe I'm wrong. And that's why we didn't go with them. We just switched to Touch Bistro at all 3 locations.
Oh, cool. I've heard good things about Touch Bistro.
Yeah, it's been good. It was a little rocky at first. Like, I'm still mad I can't do clock out times remotely. Like, if someone forgets to clock out and they text me, I want to just be able to change it on my laptop at home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Instead of like, remind me tomorrow when I'm in the office, or you can only do it from the iPad.
Oh, whoa.
But they said, anyway, I was promised that. It didn't, it wasn't there, but they said they're working on it, and it's miles ahead of what we did have, which was like Redfin. It was like a micro set. Anyway, if you want to see me get mad and talk some smack about something, get me going on that one. But,
yeah, that was a really weird time in the restaurant industry when everyone was like, when all of a sudden you could have just a tablet and have a POS and not spend $30,000+ on this crazy like setup, like
Terminal.
digital dining setup. Yeah. Like,
yeah. I don't know. It's that last Redfin, like played in that whole, there's a reason they call them POS, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But Touch Bistro is nice because it is the same where it's like you can update something, do the online ordering. We haven't enabled that yet because we still have it set up through the website. It's DoorDash, but it's 0% commission when they order through the website.
Oh, word.
Yeah, so it's kind of worked. DoorDash is like 80% of our third-party delivery. Well, we just canceled Grubhub and Uber Eats. And if you ever did bring it on, I would say just do DoorDash. It keeps it easy. Yeah. I don't know. For as much as I eat out, I actually DoorDash something for the first time like a month ago. And it was the first time I DoorDashed anything since last June.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know. I don't like paying. I mean, it's great. It's been good for us. And I understand why people use it. But I don't know. I'm also lucky to have a job where I can go leave. If I was somewhere that I couldn't leave, I'm sure I would use it all the freaking time.
Yeah.
But cool, man. Well, let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. Sound good?
Okay.
Introducing Constellation Stage and Screen, Bloomington's newest professional theater and film company. On stage next, Constellation presents American Fast, a riveting new sports drama playing March 23rd through April 8th at the Ted Jones Playhouse. 21-year-old college basketball sensation Katie Salama makes it to March Madness, only to become a national news story when she lies about observing the Muslim fast while competing in the tournament. See this thrilling new basketball drama, American Fast, on stage March 23rd through April 8th in downtown Bloomington. Find tickets at constellation.org. You haven't heard about Excalibur? Well, you better axe somebody. It's Bloomington's premier axe throwing facility located at 3604 West 3rd Street. It's perfect for birthdays, wedding parties, corporate events, or just hanging out with your friends. They also offer fun for all ages and super exciting Jelly Ball. Find out more and book your next event at axcaliburs.com. That's AXE Caliber with an S, axcaliburs.com. Did you know the Chocolate Mousse has a second Bloomington location? Located next to Buffalo's on Indiana Avenue, not only can you find our famous homemade ice cream, but we also have a full coffee menu featuring locally roasted Brown County coffee and delicious vegan and gluten-free treats from our friends at Rainbow Bakery. Skip the line and order ahead at moosebtown.com 7 days a week. Open early at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday. It's the perfect early morning stop, midday pick-me-up, or late night snack. Was the clap go? We're back. All right. We had a good long break. We're well energized. We're ready to rock. I realized normally we get right into where your story, where you're from, how Orbit Room started. So let's dive right in it from the beginning.
All right. I'm from the south side of Indianapolis. And then I moved to Greenwood in high school, went to Center Grove, moved down to Bloomington in 97 and lived here until 2007. Then I moved out to Oakland, California for about 10 years almost. And then we moved back here in 2016.
Yeah. And then is that when, what'd you say?
2018 was when Orbit opened. So I moved back and when I moved before I moved to California and in Bloomington, I played music the whole time I was here and kind of was known more as a promoter in town. I booked a lot. I brought Modest Mouse and a bunch of different bands through Bloomington back in the mid 2000s and moved to California and was like, I don't want to promote anymore. I just want to play my music. And so released 3 albums and 2 EPs and just kind of toured the country for about 10 years.
Under the name TV Mike?
TV Mike and the Scarecrows is
nice.
the full name. But yeah, so we toured a ton. And when I moved back to Bloomington, the band just had put out an album. So I spent the first year and a half or 2 years back here actually going on tour a bunch. I went back to working at Runcible Spoon, which I'd worked before, and Upland, where I'd worked before. And then just take 30 days off here and there to go out for tour.
Sweet.
And then it's one of those things after a while, you kind of feel the vibe of everybody and then realize that, maybe it's time to not be on tour for a while. And this opportunity arose to actually open a place. And I was like, yes, I want to open a venue. If I'm not going to be out on the road, I would love to have a place that all my buddies and all the good bands can come and play. And after being in all these small venues and awesome places all around the country, it was just like, all right, I know how we can do this and not be just a crappy venue.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah.
You can do a little more to it than that. And there's kind of like an ideal of how to run it.
Yeah, you knew what you wanted from the artist's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So when you said that opportunity came up, what was that opportunity? Like,
There was just this empty space in that building, and actually where the Orbit Room was a recording studio, and maybe it was 2002 or 3, and I actually had an office in the front where the pinball room was. I had part of an office in there, and then there was a music studio. And so the minute I heard it was available, I was like, I know that space.
Yeah,
And then, yeah, and so I jumped on it and learned a lot really quick how much it takes to open a bar in Bloomington.
Yeah, we had a good talk with that with Steve Bryant from he helps with SBA and all that stuff and entrepreneurship at Ivy Tech, and it's the amount of people he's seen that get into stuff, and it's like they're here to help you with all that stuff that you don't think of. Yeah,
there was so much, but yeah, we completely gutted the place and like built out what the Orbit is now, basically.
So when did you know what you wanted to do and then saw the space, or you saw the space and then said, I want to do pinball, gourmet hot
hanging
dogs?
Out in the van, I've been talking for 15 years about like, I want to open an arcade in Bloomington that has music. And the hot dog thing, actually, there was a place where I worked in Oakland, the brewery. It was the oldest brewery in Oakland. It unfortunately closed now, but Pacific Coast Brewing Company. Which shout out to my PCB family on the West Coast. Across the street was a place called Rose Moon Day. And what they did is they had 15 different kinds of sausages.
Whoa.
Like rabbit, snake, all kinds of crazy stuff. And then only 2 or 3 toppings and Belgian fries, which are awesome.
What are Belgian fries? I'm sorry.
Just like Belgian fries, they fry them at one temp and then they refry them again. So they're like this beautiful, crisp frite. Palm frites is what they go by. Yeah. With dipping sauces. And I was always like, we all loved going there after work and having they had, just veggie dog and I get grilled onions on it or grilled peppers. And I always was like, oh, I like that model, but like, what if it was instead of a bunch of protein options, you just go a bunch of toppings?
Yeah, I feel like that's a little more feasible.
Yeah, and they also had really great beer. That was the other thing they were known for, is always having like 12 awesome beers on tap.
Yeah, it's been, I haven't been in lately to drink, but like in the past, you guys had an incredible options of ciders, beers, wines. Are you the one that curates that?
Oh, yeah.
You're like, please, I want to do it.
Yes.
You're like, of course.
Yeah, I after working in breweries forever, so yeah, before I moved, I worked at a brewery, and then I worked at a brewery the whole time I was out in Oakland, so just from being in that microbrew world, I'm a huge fan of beer and talking about it. All the different styles. Of course, there were periods of that time when I was like, I only drink IPAs. Yeah, it has to be real bitter.
We all had that phase, I feel like.
But now I just love talking about all the different kinds of beers. One of the jobs I picked up when I moved back was I was the tour guide for the wood shop at Upland.
Oh, nice.
And so I had never really been that into sour beers until I started that job, and then I became, these are fantastic, and learned all about the process of making them and talking about them over and over to large groups of people.
Was Caleb the head guy there when you were doing that?
No, Caleb, he was there when I worked originally at Upland and wasn't doing the brewing when I came back. He was doing, it was like I forget what the job title was, but he was kind of overseeing the eco things of Upland.
Right.
So Eli was brewing in the sour facility, and then Patrick was the brewer at the big facility.
Sweet. Yeah, that's a great place to get to know sour. I mean, it's a world-class sour program.
Yeah, it was great. Like when I came back, and I was like, oh wait, all these people, like they literally launched in Oakland like as I left.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize Upland was getting distributed out that far.
I don't know if they still are, but like at that point in time, they were really pushing the envelope of how many states they were in. And I was like, what? Like I saw someone post literally like when I was moving back that like they have Upland here. And I was like, what?
You're like, I used to work there. That's my not hometown, but yeah. Oh. What are some of the standouts on your list right now? If someone comes in, like what are the ones that are like really unique to Orbit Room you might not be able to find other places in town?
Any of the Untitled Art stuff, which they do seltzers, but they make like smoothie seltzers. So they're like really thick and like basically almost like literally like a smoothie. But all of their sours are just phenomenal. It's brewed in Wanakee, Wisconsin. And so the same brewery brews like 10 brands. So almost any of the brands that they brew are great, but I really love the Untitled Art stuff. They make Florida seltzers, which have been really popular in Bloomington, and CBD waters, which is really fun. So those are exceptional. I love the OK Pils. It's a Polish Pilsner. It's made by Okosum. Out of nowhere, all the imports started making tall boy cans. And so we were like, wait, we can have all this European beer in tall boys. Because for a long time, we actually, since Orbit Room is always recycled. We are we have very little waste. We recycle everything. Up until my birthday of last year, I drove recycling every single Tuesday to the recycling center. And somehow I didn't realize that there was a service that would pick it up. And so I was always like, we only sell cans. Only cans. Because it's heavy. And I was the one hauling it all the time. So I was like, only cans. So now we do have some Belgians in the bottle now and stuff like that because of it. Because we actually have 2 huge recycling trash cans that get full, and then our garbage never gets all the way full.
That's super cool. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, the basically only waste we have is like the deli paper that the dogs sit on. Yeah,
there's going to be some stuff that's unavoidable.
Yeah.
That's, man, if that's the only waste you're having out of that operation, that's sick. That's so cool.
I'm trying to think of some other ones. The IPAs, I still love a good hazy IPA or a West Coast style. One of our house ones is like the high pitch Mosaic IPA. It's like 6%-ish. So it doesn't destroy you. We get the Distill Deadhead series quite a bit because I am a Deadhead, and it's got a cool skeleton on it, and they're always named like Looks Like Haze or Driving That Haze. So I always, no matter what, I always buy a case and a 6 of it as soon as it comes out. Even if I'm the only one that, really loves it. I mean, other Deadheads like it too.
But you're saying regardless, you're getting it.
I'm going to get it.
In the worst case scenario, you drink it. Mm-hmm. Did you go see High Rider the other night?
I did. I made it over there for some of the show, the second set. It was great. And actually, Kirby, their keyboardist, was Katie's... moved out to California with me when I moved. We didn't have places together at first, but her roommate was Kirby.
Oh, really?
That is now their keyboardist. Yeah.
That's super cool. I had heard about them for the longest time. I'd never seen them until this most recent time. They were so good.
They're the deal. Like I lived in the Dead Central, like the place where the Dead live, and they are better than any Grateful Dead band that is in the Bay Area. Like hands down. Like I've seen Mark Caron, all these other ones that are like, I knew Jerry. They are better. They play a better set than any of them. I put them up against Dark Star. Like I really think they have something special going, and they've been doing it for 15 years. They happen to be in the middle of the Midwest, which has done great for them there. But like I guarantee you, I think they're playing one of the big West Coast festivals this summer, and they're just all the Californians are gonna flip out because they don't realize that they're about to be like just see a really great Grateful Dead tribute band. Like
that's some high praise.
Yeah, that's
tight. Awesome. Where are they based out of?
I think Indy. I mean, Curb's down here, but I think they're all kind of from Indy.
That's what I thought they were fairly local. Yeah, I was gonna feel like an idiot. They're all in Bloomington too. I'm like, just kidding.
Well, there is a Dead cover band in Bloomington, but I'm in it. It's called Dead Country.
Oh, you're like, and it's mine.
Yeah, we have pedal steel and yeah.
Sweet. Are you? I know. So I've known Chris Dollar for a long time, and I know he plays quite a bit at the Orbit Room and with Pat Otto.
Yeah.
Do you know Justin Huey?
Yeah.
So we bowl together, and I've known him as long as I've known Chris. And,
yeah, he showed up for like one of the jams, I feel like, once. But I'm always like, anytime I see him walk in, I'm like, does he have his banjo with him? Because it'd be cool.
He's such a humble...
one of the instruments, like we've only had a handful of banjo players in the Orbit Room. I'm thinking about it now. The Hen House Prowlers, which Chris plays in,
right.
They had a banjo
out
player.
Of Chicago, they just had a single come out.
Ralph... Chris will play a little banjo during a set. Ralph White played banjo when he played there, but that might be almost it for banjo players at the Orbit Room.
I'm gonna tell Huey that you guys are missing some banjo over there. Well, the reason I brought him up was you mentioned pedal steel, and he's been teaching himself pedal steel.
Oh, fun!
Yeah.
We can always use another pedal steel player in Bloomington.
I don't think you never.
But like every year we get a new one. There's another person that's picking it up.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's sweet. We've had a band that's been playing Food Truck Friday once a year since the old stand called Bakersfield Bound.
Oh, okay, I've heard of them. Yeah,
they're out of India. They've got a dude that's like awesome at it.
Yeah,
and they're really good, old school Merle Haggard like. They're good vibes. I'm glad you've heard of them. I figured you probably had.
Yeah, the pedal steel is like the helicopter of music instruments. It's like. It looks so cool, and like it seems so smooth and everything, but like any one little thing goes wrong and the whole thing falls apart. Like one little screw falls out of it and it's all out of whack.
Oh, really?
It's a really cool instrument.
Yeah, you just don't see it a whole lot.
Yeah, so the Scarecrows, Matt Lundquist, who I play music with, he's got Otto and the Moaners in town. We've been buds for almost 20 years now, and he's been playing pedal steel for a long time. He always played it in the Scarecrows. So I've traveled a lot with pedal steel players, and I know all the things like you got to have cowboy boots to play them. You can't play them in sandals. If anything goes wrong on it, it all goes out of tune.
Yeah, Matt, Otto and the Moaners have played Food Truck Friday a few times.
Yeah,
and I'll see
they're
Matt,
great.
At project school, like passing periods and stuff.
Oh, and the Mr. Matt's jam session I mentioned earlier. It's Matt Lundquist. That's Matt.
Oh,
that
sweet.
puts it
Okay,
together.
cool.
He's got his own school of rock.
Dude, I love that. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
I want to circle back real quick to you were talking about your time at Runcible Spoon in Upland.
Yes.
We have to. It's what we do here.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to. Yeah. I started at Runcible Spoon probably in 2003. Before that, I'd worked at like Noble Romans as a high school kid.
In Greenwood?
In Greenwood, yeah. Which the dude that was my manager was the guy on all the pictures that was tossing the like massive pizza.
Was that intimidating?
No, it was drama. It was so much drama. Oh my gosh,
You're the drama queen.
Oh no, well just like drama in a pizza shop in Greenwood, you know.
Right.
Like, left his wife to be with a girl that was 16 at the all these things happened. I was always just making the pizza.
Yeah, just staying in your lane. I'm
gonna take some breadsticks home later. It's gonna be good. But yeah, I worked there, and then when I moved to Bloomington, I worked at like Borders Cafe for a little bit, but mostly just coffee shops like Espresso Royale, cappuccinos even for a little bit before they closed. And so Runcible Spoon made sense because I was like, oh, I'll go to another coffee shop. And then it was Matt and Reagan had owned it for a while at that time, but it was still very much so like part hippie hangout and then them trying to crush a breakfast service. Yeah. And so I learned a lot and definitely learned that I hate running up and down steps to run food.
I bet, dude.
But yeah, it was really cool because I worked there and then, moved away 10 years and came back and I wanted to pick up some shifts somewhere. And so they hired me to work like one barista shift a week. And I immediately was like, I don't want to serve, I know the money's there, but I really don't want to run up and down. Like, I don't want to do it.
The stairs aren't worth the money.
Yeah. It's like, I just want to chill and be in my zen moment. Yeah. And to see all the changes and how much business they do now was really cool. Like, we literally ran our tickets down the steps, put them up on the ticket ring, ran back up the steps, and then had to run back down to get it with no heat lamp to hold anything. And eggs get cold within 45 seconds. Like, and now they have like a computer system set up. It's real smooth, and yeah, it's really cool. And they really like, yes, it's not quite the hippie hangout. It was at least during breakfast service, but after that, it's kind of when it gets a little more mellow. I feel like it is like that. But I still run into people all the time that I'm like, oh man, the Spoon back in the day. Upland was the same way. I started there in 2004 or 5 and worked at both. But Upland was the old Upland where it was just that tiny spot, just like the bar and then the tables kind of around the bar.
Right.
I think it was 2012 they did the expansion. So I was already gone. But that was a whole nother scene. Like the parking, like the patio there was just, gravel with some plastic chains around it. You could feel the grill of the car pull up behind you as you sat out there. And then it turned it into this huge, awesome thing. Yeah.
Reheat it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Doug and the partners bought it while I worked there. I think maybe the last couple of months that I worked there, that was when they took over from Satinger.
Okay, yeah, and then I think, do you know Russ Levitt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, I've taught you. I know he plays and does music and has a studio in his house, and he's always told me about the original Upland days.
It was rowdy.
Yeah.
It was so rowdy. And I mean, I'm sure they routed themselves up now still, but like it was a very special time of my life that was just very fun. Actually, Katie and I met at Upland. So,
oh, cool.
And we've been together since then. So, yeah,
you gotta have a soft spot for it in your heart.
Oh yeah,
because
always.
Of that,
yeah,
course.
we always joke about it, just like all the silliness, and even when we go back now, like I still have tons of friends, and like we share staff with Upland quite a bit, and so it's different now because they're massive, but like it's nice that it works well. Like it's a pretty well-oiled machine for like dealing with crazy high volume.
Right. Yeah.
Which was amazing. Angela, that isn't there any longer. Like she was the GM for a long time. Really put together a nice blueprint on how to tackle that.
She was a badass, and everyone like I dated someone that worked there for a while, and like that I hung out with that crew, and that was before it was quite maybe I don't want to say it's corporate now, but you know what I mean. Like it wasn't maybe quite as rowdy as your time, but it was still like they were. It was still very loose, very local, and it was such a good vibe in there. And I still love going in there. It's obviously different, but it's like it's gone through stages to get to where it's at, but it's still just really well executed food, and like you said, there's still a lot of really cool people that work there.
Yeah, there was the 11th Street Tavern across the parking lot that was open from like 6 a.m. to 1 with a pool hall in it. And then the little tiny banquet bar was Willie Joe's for a while, which was an awesome queer bar in the back. Just like that was open late. It's like people, like servers would run over and like pop a shot, then come back, run around. It's all on one little property. But yeah, everyone there still kicks butt like all the time, and they all seem to have a good time when they're done working. So.
Right. Yeah. It's one of those where it's like Upland is Bloomington Breer, like kind of the OG. Well, BBC is the OG.
Yes.
So it's cool to see how big they've gotten. But obviously it's like there's trade-offs.
Yeah.
You know?
Which Zach that is brewing for BBC now is coming out with exceptional beer. Their new beer is so good. He's doing German styles, which I think are very overlooked, and the like basis of like so much beer. And it's exciting to see someone like making, you know, a smoked Weiss beer or a Schwartz beer and things like that. As a beer nerd, I get super excited. I was like, I can have a Schwartz beer made locally?
Well,
yeah. A black lager. Yes. I think honestly, like this year and the last year, I've been calling it like lagers, and like German style beers are about to become, I think, really huge again.
That's the one that's about
I think
to pop.
Sours and IPAs, they're going to still have their foot in the market, but I really think traditional beer style is going to come back in now because people have tried all these other things.
Well, you want something that's more of a session.
Yeah.
You know, the IPAs, the smoothie type ones.
Yeah.
And I'm glad because I've had some of those, not to bring up maybe a competitor. The Sinkhole had the Untitled Artist before.
Oh, yeah.
And I had them there. So as soon as you said that name, I remembered like, oh yeah, that was like, it's crazy, but it's not, it doesn't remind me of beer. It's like really good, but I'm not like, I want to sit here and have quite a few of these like you would a Pilsner, you know? That's, we're going to look back on this and see if you were Nostradamus, if you called it once it blows up. That's cool. You had the experience there at Upland and Runcible, and I know you mentioned your music with Dead Country. Is that the only band you have? You play other ones?
Yeah, I play solo, and every once in a while I'll get like a band together. The Scarecrows, I don't really call it the Scarecrows unless like enough of us are there, which Lundquist is in town and Dee De La Rosa is in town. She's been a bandmate of mine for ever. Our drummer lives in California, so I'm just like, we're not really the Scarecrows without us all together, but we'll do like, I'll do TV Mike and the so-and-so and like have other people sit in a lot.
What are some of the, do you say the so-and-so or do you have like fun names you come up with?
The Dip Club has been the newest one. I'm an avid fan of swimming. I love Bloomington because I can swim all the time here. I mean, in the summer, in spring. It's part of the quality of life here is you in 20 minutes can jump in that lake or a lake, and there's the secret springs around too, which we'll not get into. Can
you get into those with me when we're not recording? I was like, I lived here 12 years and I know nothing about these.
And well, a lot of the quarries are gone, but like it's just, so the Dip Club, it's a joke. Like we try to clock in as many dips as we can every summer. I mean, I might get a text and be like, rip dip. And literally, I will drive. My whole rule is I have to be in the water as long as the drive was out there. So, I mean, I might literally pop out there for 30 minutes just to jump in the water for a minute, cool down, and then come back and be at work.
Ripped it. That's so good. When he first said that, I'm like, man, are you a big Grizzly Pouches fan? Or, you know?
Rip a dip.
Yeah. Do you guys, when do you do shows? Are they just house shows?
Dead Country is playing 420 at Orbit Room. I haven't. I'm announcing it now. I haven't made a Facebook event for it, but yeah, our first show was on 420, and it was the year the Brewers Conference was, or the Beer Fest was on 420 that year too.
Oh, okay.
It might have been, I think 2019. That sounds right. 2019.
Yeah.
And so we kept the tradition alive of like we always play 420 at the Orbit. Usually Shorts Brewing Company we do a party with them because that was the first keg we ever bought was from Shorts. They're out of Michigan, but we love to showcase their stuff.
Shorts is great. Yeah. I'd never heard of them, and then my buddy and I had taken over Talker's Tap Room, and then turned it into Connor's Tap Room.
Yeah.
and had that for a year and a half or so. But like, I never knew about Shorts until then, and the reps were telling me about it. I was like, this is great. This is awesome
they make
stuff.
good beer.
Yeah, there is really, really good stuff.
Yeah, Locals Lager is kind of our house lager. It's the one beer that's almost always on tap.
Yeah, that's the one they told us about. They're like, this is the one you want. This is gonna make your Bud Light drinkers happy. You will, if you can. But,
yeah, it's hard to make a Bud drinker happy, but yeah.
as much as you can, for sure. Well, I'll keep an eye out for that, man. I want to hear some Dead Country. I was telling someone today about different like funny subtle 420. I mean, maybe some more subtle than others. We had a few years ago where we announced our partnership with Visit Bloomington, doing fresh baked ice cream cookie sandwiches on 420.
Oh, whoa, that sounds good.
Oh, dude. Well, you could still, so they buy tons of ice cream from us at Baked. So you can go over there. We just don't, it didn't make sense for us to have the fresh cookies delivered.
Yeah.
That we're wasting, and you want to have a fresh product. And so you could do it there, though. It's our ice cream.
I've been addicted to these ice cream cookies that have been on sale at B Foods lately. They're really good.
Oh man,
I grab one. I'm like, wait, and now I'm like obsessed with the idea of ice cream cookies, and I need to get over there or order one sometime from them.
Yeah, or we have our blondes and brunettes.
Yeah,
the blonde is chocolate chip cookie with vanilla saucer. Brunette chocolate chip with twist. But yeah, to really get that homemade fresh baked cookie, you got to go.
Oh, and you guys had a Samoa ice cream too.
It's out,
that's awesome,
dude. Yeah, it's out right now.
Yeah,
and it's you definitely. I feel like you got to do more caramel and coconut on top.
Yeah,
really just like enhance it and bring it out.
Yeah,
but that's my favorite one that we do. Period.
Yeah.
I love it. Where else do you like to go support and eat out and all that fun stuff?
I love Small Favors. I've been friends with Nick for a long time and have been to his other restaurants in New Orleans.
Oh,
and like
really?
He's got the gift. He's really awesome. It's like you're gonna have a special meal every time you go there, and just keep an eye. I love that you got to keep an ear out too, because they'll just do crazy. It's like the whole pizza pop up. I was like, you have crushed me for Monday. Now I get upset when I even think about it. I'm like, what's Monday's like a huge pizza day, huge pizza day for the family, because so many places are closed, which I get. I think you and I talked about it once. It was like we need to get places to like rotate who's gonna stay. Like one person per quarter has to stay open on a Monday so we can go have it that we want to go to.
I forgot I had that conversation with you. I had that happen the other day with Chinese.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I wanted Chinese and it was a Monday, and I was like, Lucky Express closed. Uncle Wang's Alley, which is new, I haven't tried, closed. Peach Garden closed, and then Best Taste on 4th was open. So thank you, Best Taste.
Yeah, it's always the money, and it's funny because like it's the day that I definitely have that I was like, I want to eat out because it's my day of rest. Somewhat, of course, we work some on Mondays, but we're closed. So yeah, that was. I mean, I love Nick, and he's got a great staff and just really fun. You're gonna learn stuff, and it's just like it's cool. It's really special. I think that it's in Bloomington.
Yeah, when I sat down with him, I want to go back, run it back now that we have video with him. But like, I've never felt so out of my depths. He just has so much knowledge.
Yeah, he knows what he's talking about.
It was nuts. And so you just try to soak in the little bit that you can.
Yeah.
And I was in there, he brought out this house-made bacon that they did. And that was by far the best bacon I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
They're so good. Sorry, what else you got?
Let me think. For pizza, I love Mother Bears. I had it last night. It was Monday. But their deep dish, which I should touch on this. Like, moving to California is really cool. But one of the things you don't know about California is that 80, maybe almost 90% of the pizza in California is absolutely terrible.
Really?
Yeah, I know there's California Pizza Kitchen, which I don't know how that got off the ground. But like in general, in the Bay Area, there's one pizza place, and it's Zachary's, which is like deep dish. So I give them a pass. But in general, there's some like artisan flatbreads that, you can get, like wood-fired pizza's really big there. But the pizza sucks. The trade is like the best burritos on the planet. Like I can't eat a burrito if I'm not in Alameda County. But so moving back, it's like we got so many dank pizzas to choose from, but Mother Bears has my heart with that. Where else do we like? Love Little Tibet. Little Tibet was definitely the place that we spent the most on, like when we were doing carry out only. Those momos slap, and I love them.
I was just talking about. I didn't realize that you could pan fry them for $1 more.
I listened to that.
I got so excited. I figured you already obviously knew about that.
Yeah.
But
it's so
Pim,
good.
Yeah, Pim is one of the most incredible human beings I met too. That's a great part too. And again, why we do this is just there's all these great places, but people don't usually not maybe always know who's behind it.
Yeah.
Like yourself, like Nick, like Pima. It's like, oh, the food's great, but like there's a reason it's great. And it's the individuals, you know?
The Spoon still for breakfast. I do, we'll go to Uptown every once in a while for breakfast. Just went back for the first time in a little while to Hop Kitchen, and gosh,
dude,
I freaking love it. And more important, I've got a 10-month-old that can totally handle hanging out there. It's great. Like, you take him over to the little play thing. It's really laid back deli service, which is nice. You just go up, grab your seat, and chill, hunker down, eat. Take him over to the kids' play thing. I really like that because, like, I don't even really like eggs a lot, so like I am like the worst person to go eat breakfast with. That's what my wife says, at least. And so to have a place like that where it's easy and to go in and bang, got this. The Spoon always just for the history of working there and stuff, but it's also like I got to time it out. Although I do think the lunch is even better than breakfast at Spoon.
What are the lunch items that stand out? I did
the Black Russian sandwich. You add sauerkraut and mushrooms. It's basically a vegetable Reuben, which I love a good Reuben sandwich. Where else? I do think like we'll get Rush Hour every once in a while.
Someone asked today where to get a good banh mi. And that's, I was like,
it's a solid banh mi.
And then Hive has one, but it's a little different than traditional.
Long Fei's got really solid Chinese food. I've just recently gotten a hankering again for ordering a lot of takeout from Chinese takeout.
Yeah, Long Fei's are good. I think that's one of the ones I maybe looked at on that Monday. And that's one that I don't think we've ever mentioned on here, but I'd say might be my second or third favorite in town. Like really, really good.
Yeah. And I think they are open on Mondays because it's been I think it's been a different couple of Mondays that we're like, I want to order it. I want to get it.
They've been your savior. Yeah. Well, I wish I would have thought of them. My Best Taste was good, but Long Fei's another level.
For some reason, like if you've been out late the night before, cheese Perere from the Trojan Horse seems to fix all ailments of a hangover.
Is that the one they light on fire?
No, that's really good too, though. The Sagnaki, the cheese Perere is the spinach feta-y dip. I love it. Trying to think of where else.
I was gonna say you've given some good info. This is why we do this.
Inkwell too, actually, just being our neighbors. Their sandwiches are solid and it's a pretty approachable price.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Which I get. Like, I'm not trying to say places are too expensive. I totally understand right now with inflation and food costs are real,
insane. Yeah, and
it's tough to deal with, but like it's pretty approachable.
Well, and it helps that they're making their own bread.
Yeah.
Like they're making so much, and it's weird that maybe now that's actually a reason you can save money, whereas in the past you'd pay extra for that because how expensive it is to buy shit now.
Yeah.
But man, Inkwell, that broken yolk sandwich and the weekly, the scrambled eggs on a pretzel bun with the horseradish, and then the broken yolk on like sourdough or their homemade English muffin. And then the Pop-Tarts. Yeah. I can't talk about Inkwell and not talk about the Pop-Tarts.
The Pop-Tarts.
They're so good, man. Well, cool. I think we've got a list that we're going to. Well, Garrett and I are going to have a little date night.
I am so hungry right now.
I know. As soon as we started talking about it, I was like, what do I mention next?
Dude, I went on the way over here. I was thinking about, I had a Coney dog at like 3. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to get so hungry. But I didn't have time to stop anywhere. So, yeah, this is what time is it? What's open now?
It's only 8:30.
8:30. We might have some options to get in before 9.
I think everywhere's open right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's good for me. Normally it's a little bit later. Well, thanks so much for coming on, dude.
Yeah, no problem. This is a blast.
Been a pleasure, and I'll be coming by to see you soon, hopefully for some Pinball League.
Yeah, coming through for the Pinball League. Same night, too. We do trivia with Josh at Bloomington Pub Quiz.
Yeah, shout out to Josh for sure.
And karaoke starts right after that with Dave Walters at 8:30. So Tuesdays is a really fun day of like very different things going on all at once.
Wait, Tuesday? Oh, no,
sorry. So Pinball League, trivia, and karaoke.
With 2 awesome individuals too, Josh and Dave.
Yeah,
dude, Tuesday night Order Room. That's where it's
a fun night. Like it's fun when like the Pinball League, go, and then out of nowhere you'll look over and somebody from the league singing, or somebody was there for trivia, and then they're still there an hour into the karaoke singing. Do
you have before we go? Do you have other nights you want to shout out of like consistent weekly events you have going on?
Pretty much music Wednesday through Saturday. We do the Cicada Cinemas. We do Dropkick Comedy. Neil Meyer puts it together. That's actually tomorrow night, but that'll probably be not true once
this comes out. Yeah,
Wednesday nights.
Wednesday nights.
Yeah, Wednesdays is the comedy. Yeah.
Okay.
So look out for that. We do Cosmic Songwriters the first Wednesday of every month.
Isn't that Sean McDermott and one other
and Oso Blues.
Yeah, because they're doing a lot with the Music Expo, Visit Bloomington this year. We're hoping to partner Food Truck Friday on some of that. So I'm glad glad you shouted them out. Yeah. Sean's in the Hungarian Slacks.
Yes.
Which they play Food Truck Friday every year.
Yeah. And the Monon Troubadours. That's another one of his groups.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to see. I always talk to Jim Stowers about getting Hungarian Slacks. I'll have to talk to Sean about Monon.
Yeah. Oh, I think Jim's in that too.
Oh, perfect. Even better. Well, that just makes it easy. Yeah. We need to do
just a different name. Same people.
All right. Thanks so much, dude.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us in the latest episode of the No Dishes podcast. Do you like what you heard? Be sure to write a review, rate us, subscribe, like, whatever it is that you do to show your support. We really appreciate it. Until next time, be sure to keep those hands dry. This episode of the No Dishes podcast was recorded, edited, and produced by Garrett Portinga of Green Hat Media in beautiful downtown Bloomington, Indiana.
No dishes.
Season 4 of the No Dishes podcast is brought to you by VisitBloomington.com. VisitBloomington.com is the best resource for restaurants and culinary information, special events, fun activities, places to stay, and more in our area. We share a similar mission here on the No Dishes podcast of highlighting local businesses and the people who make our community unique. We can't thank them enough for hopping on board. Check them out at VisitBloomington.com to easily plan your next meal, visit, or night out on the town.
No Dishes Media.
No Dishes Media.